Every writer needs to start their day with a cup of something green. Oh, make sure my shirt doesn't fall down. It has this habit of, exposing bits that it shouldn't do. Anyway, so today I thought I'd just bring together a few tips for people who are thinking of writing a book. You've got all this jumble of information in your head and you don't know where to put it. So I've just come up with like 5 basic things that every person who wants to write a book should sort of have in play. There are times you're just like, I don't know where I'm going with this. Like, I had a story and I don't know where I'm going. I don't know what I'm doing. So this is what these 5 tips are about and how it pulled me through to actually finishing that back there. So number 1 I want to start with is it's routine. It's basic routine. We all need to like get organised. I think people have probably heard that, organise yourself. If you've got any task that you're going to start doing, make sure that you know where you're going with it. If it's boxes, you go, right, I'm going to start from the left and I'm going to work my way to the right and I'm going to stop after 2 hours because I want a tea break. So important. If you think about other writers who got themselves organised, how do they do it? They all do it slightly different ways. Ernest Hemingway, he would get up at like ridiculous o'clock in the morning. He would spend his hours of the day, early morning, writing, and then he would get absolutely slaughtered in the evening with his friends. So that's, we probably can't all do that, but if you can, it's a routine. Roald Dahl was slightly different. He would take to his shed with, again, a flask of tea or coffee or something warm. I actually can't remember for sure. He would sit in his little chair. He'd have his little designated area in this shed, really comfy. It was all like aligned perfectly well. Feet rested. Important to have your feet rested. If you're going to spend hours writing, you will get knee cramps if you don't have something that keeps you comfy. Mask at the ready, pencil in hand, a string of paper, just jotting down his ideas. So, go somewhere that's quiet, get yourself organised, get your zen in place and really go from there. Now, the next point I'm going to make, excuse me whilst I fidget, is that before you write this book, please know where you're going with it. So figure out your genre. If you don't know your genre, you don't know your audience, and you have no story, okay? You need to read other books, read like an absolute maniac, and just figure out what you want to write, because engaging with other people's work will inspire you to make something really decent. So for instance, in order to write something like this, I read books like Jojo Moyes, so Me Before You. Everyone's heard of Me Before You, right? Beautiful, beautiful book. Still Me, the third one in her lineup, which was also fantastic. A lot longer than I expected, because most of them, they tend to be, 300 plus pages. Mine is considerably shorter. It's just scraping 300. But for a first one, you're writing, you do not want to be overly ambitious. Don't try and write yourself an epic, because it is going to be epically rubbish. So research what you want to do and then map it out. So what I tend to do is like a little synopsis. Before I even start, I will do not the blurb, not that, a synopsis of each element of the story, of the beginning, the middle, and the end. How I want it to come together. So whatever's sprung in my mind, put it all down, because there's a lot of jumbling about in your head, and you want to just put it all out there. So I get my Word doc up and I will just say, introduce the characters, introduce the basic principle of the storyline, how it begins, where they're going, why it's important to mention certain people and certain elements in their life, because you don't want to have random bits in there that make no sense. So yeah, just organised. Again, it's reiterating the first thing in your routine. Research, routine, organise yourself, and read. It's before you even start, is target yourself. So once you've worked out how you want to write it, what you want to write, and the way you want to go, you might sort of go, whew, all right, okay, I feel a bit better, but how do you start this chapter? How do I do that? just do a little target and work through it chunk by chunk, bit by bit, until you feel like it's right. So for me, it varies depending on how I'm feeling that day. You know, if I'm tired, if I'm grouchy, I will not write, and that is it. I'm not going to write if I feel like a miserable old fart, because your emotions are going to come through your story, and you do not want that. Unless it's a bad emotion for the story, then you do want that. But in my case, I'm trying to write about this uplifting scenario, and I feel like poo. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. So target yourself, map out your synopsis, work through it bit by bit. I tend to, once I've written it all out, I will highlight the areas I want to focus on for like chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3. It carries on. And even if that's one sentence is highlighted and then you just go from there, it makes it feel a lot more feasible, and then you can actually see where it's going, or whether you need to, the stories are lacking a bit, or if you think, actually, you know what? I've got something going on. I mean, for me, I didn't think that when I wrote my 3-page synopsis that I would end up with anywhere near 70,000 words. I'm like, how am I going to do that? How am I going to do that without it being complete garble? Well, I managed it. Somehow I managed it. I mean, you can judge for yourself whether you think it's a load of... So aside from targeting yourself, reading, researching, routining, etc., there are 2 more that I wanted to focus on. One is really, really crucial. Every good story is inspired by something, someone, an event, an accumulation of said events. Only ever write when that is flowing through your veins, because, I mean, for me, if I've sat there and I've written all this stuff, then suddenly writer's block sets in. That's it. My brain's going, doesn't know what it's doing anymore. I don't know why. Why am I writing? What's the next bit about? Do not write filler gaps just because you said to yourself you're going to spend 4 hours writing today, like Roald Dahl. Don't do it. Don't do it. Just write when you feel inspired. So for me, I won't write, like I said, if I'm in a grouchy mood. I also won't write if I'm in a good mood, but my mind is fixated elsewhere. It has to be on this story. Whatever's inside you has to come pouring out and go, I know what to write. I know what I want to say. That is going to be your best story when it comes through you naturally. Leads me to my last point. In order to get inspired, you've got to get out there and live your life. This is not a chore. Writing, painting, music, they are all beautiful, beautiful creative things that we do, and they should never, ever feel like a job. It should feel like an absolute pleasure. So if you're ever getting to that point where you're aggravated by, do it again, I don't want to do it, I'm tired, please don't do that. Don't hurt yourself, and don't ruin your book, because you will end up with a piece of crap and you'll be really gutted at yourself that you just did it because you forced yourself to. So please don't. Live your life. A good book is measured by the level of enthusiasm that's in the words, and if it doesn't sound believable, then it probably hasn't been experienced enough. So get out there, meet your friends, go to events. Don't get enclosed in these 4 walls. Yes, you need routine, yes, you need quiet, but do not think that this is your life forever. You wanna enjoy the process. This is your baby, this is your art. Make sure that you get out there, feel life, know what it would be to be that person. Talk to other people about their little stories. Really listen to what other people have to say, and put yourself in situations you've never been before. Capture the character that you want to create, or the characters you want to create. Engage with that. It will give your story so much more depth. I cannot tell you. So just live life. Targets and research. Work out your angles, your audience. Read. Live. I think they're the basic things that we can do from this. always drink tea. If there are anything else that you can think of, then obviously let me know. This is just the basic principles of how to get started writing your book, and they're the kind of things that helped boost me. So yeah, drop me a like or a follow on Instagram, whatever you want to do. If you don't, then thank you very much for watching, and I will bring back stuff next time. Okay? Ciao, Bellas!